New York and on the new Hot 97 app. Ebro in the morning on Hot 97.
Yo, look, on social media, I had a debate. We talked about it earlier. There was a question. I think it was Double XL posed the question, when is Drake going to pass Jay-Z? And I responded and said pass. Like, question mark, pass. Like, what do you mean pass? Like, in my mind, there isn't a Drake passing Jay-Z because Drake has already passed Hove in hits.
For hits, he's definitely passed him.
Sales, I'm sure, with the streaming and I mean, just crazy numbers.
Yes, he's passed him for hits. He hasn't passed him for better albums, though.
And so maybe that's why I said pass. Question: has Drake passed Jay-Z in your mind, Laura Stout?
I just don't see him in the same lane. I see him completely separate.
But if thing really heated up, and you thought I was disrespectful, Rosa.
Well, the way you said it was disrespectful. But we know you. You unintentionally disrespect Drake all the time. You can't even help it. You're like Shawnee Coulter. You were like, pass. They're not in the same lane. They're not on the same track. They're not even in the same state or whatever you say.
Same country.
But how is that disrespectful, though?
The implication that one gets when they read that is he's not on his level. That's how I read it. I know that's not what you meant. But I believe that's how the average person would read it.
Well, that's because Drake and Drake fans are sensitive.
Perhaps. I'm just telling you.
Super sensitive.
But you didn't mean it that way.
No, I meant they're not the same art. They're not. Jay-Z is a pure rapper. Drake is phenomenally dynamic as an artist. Jay-Z's achievements are based mostly on pure rapping ability.
And hustle. From the gate.
Well, yeah, but that's I'm just talking about in music. Yeah, they come from different places. Right. Jay's come up is way different than Drake's come up. All of those things clearly. But I mean, just music. Jay is a pure rapper's rapper.
Right.
Drake has made R&B hits. He's made dance records. He's made Afrobeat. Like his comeuppance is completely different. They're not in the same.
And rap hits too.
And rap hits too, yeah.
Rap hits.
He's hip-hop for sure. The only thing they have in common is they're both in hip-hop, to me, and they've been on the same records together.
Oh, and they're both monster stars.
Okay.
I mean, right now, if you were to say who are the biggest stars of all time in hip-hop, they're both in the top 5,
for sure.
6, for sure. So, I mean, I can see how people would ask the question, but yeah, what do you consider being passing someone? I don't think, it's not a reasonable comparison. But Drake does have more hits. I think Jay-Z has the better body of work. And I think Drake does have more party hits, though. If you were going to be like, yo, we can have a Drake party and a Jay-Z party, and all you can do at the party is play records by those artists, you're going to have more fun at the Drake party.
Somebody needs to do that. They used to have these Michael Jackson versus Prince parties. Remember that?
They have Drake parties.
Yeah. They have Jay versus Drake parties where you get to play both and anything that they've influenced.
No.
Yeah, anything. I mean, but I'm telling you, the Drake hit part is just undeniable. It's crazy. I still hear ones all the time that I forget. I'm like, oh, yeah, I forgot he's on that, too.
Drake's got hammers. I'm not taking anything away from him. I just don't think they're comparable. But then again, I didn't think Pac and Big, who were comparable
I'm
either.
telling you right now, there are people listening to us right now who are 19, 20, 21, 22 years old.
23, 24,
and they're going, you're wilding out. They're going, you're wilding out for comparing them because Drake is so much bigger than Jay.
Bigger?
Like more important in their lives in every single
way. For sure,
way.
in their lives, for sure. They just got here. Jay-Z's 50 years old.
Yeah, Drake is like 33, 32.
The fact that you're even having Jay-Z in a conversation with a 32-year-old
is impressive.
Tells you that Jay is greater than Drake. The fact that you're even having that convo. That's what greatness is you've transcended generations. But a 22-year-old, I'm not going to argue with you about that. Because you don't have any perspective. You haven't been here long enough.
Well, you can look at it from the other side, too. Like, the same way you're saying that Drake can be even compared to Jay, the fact that Jay can be compared to Drake, the fact that you can make that comparison in the other way.
It's huge for Drake.
Yeah, it's also huge for Drake.
Absolutely.
Because who else can you even throw around in that conversation? Who can you even ask the question for?
Yeah,
to compare to Jay?
Who can you even ask the question?
In rap?
Yes.
I could put Kendrick in that conversation. He's got more classic albums, and he's got a rapping skill set that the greatest rappers of all time have to respect.
Yeah, of course, you're not going to hear me argue that because I think Kendrick's iconic. However, in terms of number of hits and mainstream visibility.
Right, but that wasn't Jay's thing. Jay wasn't just a hit machine. Most of the records that you love from Jay here today are records that are culturally important.
Yeah, but that's what we're talking about, right? Because then if we're talking,
like, what is the race?
That was my original question, Laura. What are we comparing?
Yeah, because you could say Drake has more Billboard hits than Jay-Z. But if we're talking in a microcosm of hip hop, Jay has a lot of hits.
That's what I'm
You know what
saying.
I'm saying?
And that's my point. What are we actually comparing?
Gotcha.
Because Drake has already passed him with number of
Yeah,
Billboard hits and sales.
Yeah, of course.
And let's not forget that Billboard hits now are totally misleading. Your whole album now gets counted as Billboard hits. You don't have to release singles anymore. Everything gets counted.
Yeah, it's a
He
completely different way of taking in music. And
but
He surpassed the Beatles. Drake surpassed the Beatles. Guess who Drake's not bigger than? The Beatles.
I don't know. I don't know, man.
Guess
And
what?
a 22, 23-year-old. You know what I mean? If you're talking to a 22 or 23-year-old.
I can't even name one Beatles song.
With Laura Styles and Rosenberg.
Right here on Hot